Hi, and welcome back to episode 4 of our Starforged plus Star Wars campaign. Sophia is joining me as she has for the previous 3 episodes, and we're just going to jump straight into it. We're actually recording this minutes after we stopped recording the previous episode, so we're trying to keep the momentum up for the two of us and pick up where we left off. And just a quick reminder, because it has been 2 weeks for some of you if you're not binging them all in one go. We're on the trail trying to find Reese, who is a gambler who is potentially our ticket off of the planet of Coruscant. We're in the underbelly of Coruscant, which is one of the lower levels, and we have managed to track him to an abandoned warehouse district, where we are now following his blood trail as the bounty hunter who's going after him appears to be in hot pursuit. And we've just left it in the middle of this expedition to try and find Reese, where we are at a waypoint which is right in the center of the district, where there are some collapsed buildings and just piles of rubbish, and kind of looks like a ruin, like ruins of like a war-torn industrial district. So let's open the Foundry window so you can see it. And I guess we're jumping straight into making our next undertake an expedition move, right?
Yeah. Let's keep going.
We could theoretically try and bring this to a close by rolling our progress, but we're only going to be getting that's a 4, so that's not actually what we really want. That's effectively rolling a 4 on the is it called the skill die? I can't remember what it's called.
Action die.
The action die, and they'd be rolling 2d10 against it. And it's just not good odds. We want to get this higher. I think at least 1 higher, ideally 2 higher. But yeah, we'll see what we get to.
You need to get at least 1 of the die below a 3. So that's over 30% odds. Somewhere in the 40, 50 maybe. But still, it's risky.
It's risky. So we're gonna keep going. So we're gonna continue with undertaking an expedition. That move. We're gonna continue to be looking for signs, because at this stage, I think it's fair to say that we haven't found them yet. Or maybe we could actually ask the Oracle and say, are there any signs of Reese and the bounty hunter? Like, can we hear them? Can we see them in the distance? That might be worth asking now, because because we're in the center and it's kind of, buildings have collapsed, as I said, in the big area. We might have some good vision to see like what's happening around us. So this might be a good place to pause and take a quick recce of our area of our. Yeah. So can you make a roll for that, or do you want to do something else?
No. I was just going to say that some people tend to find that 6 progress is the sweet spot, because it's like a 5 or under, which is, a relative odds of success and failure. Because if you go higher than that, you're kind of like wanting to succeed a lot. And then if you don't, you get really bummed out. Like, you got 8 progress and you get a 9 and a 10, and it's like, no,
that still tells an interesting story, right? If everything seems to be going in your favor, and then it doesn't, is also really good. But I agree with you. I think after we get to mark 6 progress, that might be a nice sweet spot to, things are still in the air, but we want to bring this to an end.
It's good to get yourself used to and enjoying the failure. And that leading to more interesting stories. So 50-50 odds of them.
I think so.
All right, let's find out. Do we see or hear them? And the answer is a yes. We definitely see or hear them. So I think this would be a moment to start running. So basically moving with edge.
Yeah, I agree. They're disappearing. Let's say they're disappearing into some buildings on the other side, right? And it's kind of like, okay, or we can see the bounty hunter like flying, just disappearing down like in an area between 2 buildings. Jetpack on, maybe even firing a couple of shots. So there's no chance of him seeing us, because he's just gone like out of sight. But we've definitely seen him, so it's like, okay, we need to move fast. So, shall I roll this as well?
Yeah, definitely. You can. I think this would probably be with edge, as we try to make our way there as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to roll, or shall I roll? We both have
No,
the same
you can
stat.
go. You can go ahead and roll.
Okay. All right. So rolling with edge, no ads. Oh, nice. Weak hit.
That's a weak hit.
So, weak hit, we reach a waypoint, but this progress costs you. Envision the location and mark progress per the rank of the expedition, but choose one. So, let me mark progress before I forget. So, we got 6 progress now. Suffer costs en route. Make a suffer move, or 2 suffer moves. Or face a peril at the waypoint. Yeah. I mean, both work because we're basically we're trying to move quickly across a rubble-strewn landscape, right? Which is not that easy to do. So that suffer costs en route seems really applicable. Facing a peril at the waypoint could also work. Like, what do we get? What do we find when we get to the other side? But I think, oh yeah, I'm kind of leaning more towards suffering costs en route. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that we're making our way there as quickly as we can. Like you said, there's rubble. We're probably getting cuts and bruises as we're like climbing up this place. So I'd say we can just suffer 1 health each.
Okay.
As we just rush carelessly through to get to Reese before he suffers a fate.
When it says make a suffer move, what does that mean though exactly?
It means that we reduce any of our tracks, health, spirit, supply, momentum, or vehicle integrity track, or anything of the sort.
Okay.
Since it says make a suffer move -2 or 2 suffer moves, that basically means you can redistribute that suffering through the party. So, for example, we could say, "Oh no, it's just Drago that takes the full damage," or we could say, "No, we take 1 each," which is kind of what we're going for right now.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense too. Do you want to try and endure harm? I'm not going to, but I think you've like lost 2 health now.
I have lost 2 health. Sure, why not? Let's make it endure harm.
Or is that only meant to be done?
No, you can do it whenever you want. So it's a weak hit. If I'm not wounded, I can exchange 1 momentum for +1 health.
Okay.
And I guess I'm going to do that. I'm going to exchange 1 momentum for +1 health. So it's basically not as bad as expected.
Okay. So I think this is where we want to now use one of the arrays, which is the features for the underbelly, to see like maybe get an idea of the area that we're in. Do you want to roll that one?
Yeah, sure thing. Let's go ahead and take a look. Protest or strike? No.
That doesn't work. Oh.
Unusually empty or quiet area.
Yeah,
that's usually quiet or empty, because right now there's a bounty hunter with explosives and a gun, right?
Well, no, maybe that's the thing. We don't hear or see anything. We come through, like, follow where the bounty hunter was, and it's just completely silent, and we stop.
I like that.
And as we stop suddenly, because there's probably maybe a standoff going on right now. Maybe this is where we roll on our progress tracker.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah?
I love it.
All right, so for this one then, we basically finish the expedition to see how well we do here. And it basically, just to read it out loud again for people who aren't watching, who are going to be listening to this on the podcast, roll the challenge die. So when your expedition comes to an end, roll the challenge dice and compare it to your progress. On a strong hit, well, we'll see what happens with the strong hit, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the die next to the progress, which says to make the progress roll with the 6 progress that are marked. No options or advanced options or anything, and let's just see what we get. A 5 and a 6. So a weak hit. That's actually not too bad. A weak hit I quite like. Weak hits are really fun because it means you're gonna get what you want, but there's always a bit of a trade-off. A yes but result, which narratively are always the most interesting, I find. So on a weak hit, as above, so we reach our destination or we complete our whatever we were doing. Mark a reward on your discovery's legacy track, blah blah blah. But you face an unforeseen complication at the end of your expedition. Make the legacy reward 1 rank lower and envision what you encounter. So the
All right.
legacy reward thing, I guess, is quests. Is that right?
No, that's discoveries.
Oh, discoveries.
Expeditions, it's discoveries.
Okay.
So
we
we
make
mark one tick.
One single tick on it. Yeah. The expedition's rank was dangerous. We said, right? Yeah. So it would have been 2 ticks,
Yes.
but we make 1 tick instead. Okay. Yep. Cool. And I think the complication is that the bounty hunter hears us approaching, and is in a kind of like elevated position, watching where basically Reese has just gone to ground. So Reese is has decided he's not going to run anymore. Maybe he's lost a bit too much blood. And he can't continue to run. So this is it. This is where he's going to have his like last stand, just as we're approaching as well. So from my perspective, I can see this as being a big like fight scene. Not battle, but we have like a slightly longer kind of combat scene as we basically go toe-to-toe with an expert bounty hunter who sees us coming.
Yes, I would say that before that, this definitely marks progress on our vow to find Riss.
Oh, for sure.
Because we have
found him, haven't we?
Yeah. We have completed a perilous journey, so that is definitely worth reaching a milestone.
Yep.
All right, so let's go into a full-blown combat. We haven't done one of those yet.
We haven't, no.
So
we
let's
start
go
with
ahead.
Enter the Fray, right?
That's correct. I don't think either of us have any. I think you have a combat asset. Yeah, you have for gaining ground, which for disarming, tripping,
ground,
shoving. Yeah. All right, so let's see how this goes. All right, let's enter the fray. And how are we entering the fray? How did you say you imagine? Is the bounty hunter like they're on the top of like? I don't know why I imagined the kind of like we said, an unusually or quiet area, perhaps like a small crater amidst the ruins. You know, like when we get in there, there's no noise, and we kind of like slide down the rubble, perhaps.
I was seeing it as like we ran to the edge of where that like big crater, like the big destruction was. We're back into warehouses.
Okay.
So this was more. Maybe there's like a big open. Let's think about this for a bit. There are buildings all around us, but there also needs to be some fairly wide roads to be able to transport things in and out between buildings into buildings. So maybe this is happening in a big like a roundabout or like a junction between some major roads. And Reese is hiding behind some sort of like ancient like land speeder, like basically a car that is, fallen over. It's rusting. It's got piles of refuse all around it, but he's obviously being able to kind of like sheltering behind it. And opposite, on the other side of this like this junction, there's maybe the bounty hunter has found a balcony or something, and is got this elevated position and has like a blaster rifle pointing at Reese. But looking to his left, he can see us approaching. So they have this like slight issue of the bounty hunter having an elevated position, which is going to be difficult for us to get up to. We could go enter the building and try and find, or maybe there's like a ladder on the side or something like that. We can get up onto the roof of this building, something like that. But it's presenting an immediate logistical challenge of attacking. Now I do have a blaster, so I can just a blaster pistol.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so we can actually still make ranged attacks and things like that. Yeah. That's how I'm kind of envisioning the scene.
Excellent. So, How do we enter the fray? Are we on the move, facing off against our foe? We are not in the thick of it at close quarters, and we are not preparing to act against an unaware foe. Caught in a trap or sizing up the situation?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I think we're probably facing off against our foe. We're not caught in a trap. Well, we're sizing up the situation. Maybe it's something like that, but I have a feeling like they see us coming and it's instantly like a bounty hunter. Like, we're clearly not bounty hunters ourselves. and we're clearly in pursuit. Like we've heard like blaster shots being fired. We've probably got our blasters drawn, and we're just like running full tilt into this scene. So I think facing off your foe is probably the correct one here.
All right, let's go ahead. That.
Do you want to roll it?
We both have to roll it.
Oh,
because
right, okay.
we track separately whether we are
That's right.
in control or not in control. So I am in a bad spot.
I've got a weak hit. So I take let me take my 2 momentum, and I'm in control. But you're starting in a bad spot.
On a weak hit, like it says there, you can choose one. You take
right.
2 momentum, or you are in control.
I'm gonna be in control, I think.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in control here.
So what I imagine is that we kind of like separate. We kind of like dash in different directions. And I am currently under fire by the bounty hunter, who's got like this, like we say, like some kind of
like a blaster
rifle.
Yeah.
And the shots are just like going over my head or exploding the vehicle I'm taking cover behind.
Mm-hmm. And my Cypher, my droid, is just trundling along as the astromechs always do during a gunfight, kind of slowly, being ignored by everyone.
I love it.
Okay. So, do you want to go first with your move, your next move, or let's talk about what we're gonna do here?
I think it would make sense that you go first. I'm just cowering under fire.
Okay, I'm gonna while the bounty hunter isn't focusing on me, I'm gonna try and get to a position where, because maybe they're like the balcony that this bounty hunter is on offers some cover from different angles, but not from every angle. So I'm gonna try and kind of like flank, stay on the ground, go along the side, kind of even approaching where Reese is, to see if I can get a kind of a bead on the bounty hunter where I've got a decent shot. And then I'm gonna try and get a clean shot in while his attention is focused over on you. So I see that as possibly being. That could be. I don't know. What do you think?
That is 100% a gain ground move.
Oh, okay.
It says when you are in control and take action in a fight to reinforce your position or move towards your objective, which is exactly what you're doing.
Yep.
So it could be edge if you are maneuvering.
Yeah, I'm just reading them here. I think it's possibly shadow or coordinating a plan, studying a situation, or clearly gaining leverage. Well, it's not. No, it won't be shadow because I'm not misdirecting or hiding or preparing an ambush.
I mean, if you're maneuvering around the battlefield, I think edge is probably a good one to roll. Okay. Again, since this is just a narrative game, you can argue why it's wits and roll your best stat as well, depending on how you're. No,
that seems to be more like I would be pausing and looking around, something like that, rather than.
Oh, actually, that's exactly what you could do. Like, let's say while the bounty hunter is shooting at me, you kind of poke your head out, you look around, you survey the battlefield.
Yeah, let's do that. I dive behind cover. As you kind of go, we go different directions. I dive behind cover, and then I realize I'm not the one being shot at. I kind of pop my head up and I'm looking around like, okay, what can I do here? Yeah, that's good. I like that. So I'm gonna go with wits. I don't get anything from my assets, so just a straight up wits roll. Oh wow! Oh, strong hits. Nice. Really good roll there. Got a 6 on the dice, and I get a +3 to it, so that's always gonna go well. Okay, you stay in control. Choose 2. I can mark progress. We didn't actually give this a progress track yet, so let's do that quickly.
Oh, yeah, we need to...
fight with Triz. And...
here's an interesting thing about combat. Actually, we didn't read the enter the fray move when we got into it. When you initiate combat or are forced into a fight, envision your objective and give it a rank. So the thing here is, what is our objective? Is our objective to defeat the bounty hunter, or is our objective to get Reese out of here alive?
No, we want the bounty hunter dead.
All right, so let's give that our objective.
Defeat Triz. Okay, and rank?
I think formidable.
I think
at
I
the
was
very
thinking formidable
least.
as well. Yeah. Yep,
'Cause,
for sure.
this is going to be a really tough bow.
And do we have a clock on this one at all?
We could if we wanted to. I mean, we could add a clock to just say to measure Riz bleeding out. That was one thing I thought.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that. How many segments do we give that?
I would probably give it 6. I think 4
Okay.
would be too little.
This is interesting. So we'll stick with this. Formidable means that this is not going to be an easy... Well, it's a formidable foe to overcome. And 6 segments with the bleeding is also going to be an interesting thing to track. Okay, so we've got that in there. And I get to mark progress. So that's one thing I will be doing. Definitely want to be marking progress when we can. And I can either get a +1 on my next move, which isn't a progress move, or I can take +2 momentum. And I think... momentum is going to start coming into... is going to be important at some point coming up. So I want to start collecting momentum rather than getting the +1. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. And that's me looking around. And I think because I got a strong hit, I do find a spot where maybe if I can get on top of the broken speeder that Reese is hiding behind, I can get a really clear shot at Triz. So that's just what I've spotted. Over to you.
All right, I'm going to clash because
you're in a bad spot. Yep.
I'm in a bad spot, and I'm just, I'm maybe taking out my blaster and maybe just, pop out shooting without looking, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And let's see how it goes.
Good luck. Oh, strong
wow!
hit.
I never get this. I never get this. I'm always complaining that when I get in a bad spot, I stay in a bad spot. But I love it.
So you've marked progress twice, so let me do that quickly. So we're up to 3.
Oh,
Oops.
sorry, I clicked it accidentally.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me edit it quickly and take one off. Unmark. There we go.
There we go. All right, so I imagine that, Alera kind of like takes her gun out, starts shooting, and just like one of the lucky hits, kind of like maybe hits the bounty hunter. I mean, he's got a good armor, so it doesn't really do much damage, but it's enough to make the bounty hunter kind of like maybe back off a little bit, putting me in a good position. So I get around, and now I'm arms on top of this vehicle pointing at the balcony. And now the bounty hunter is like maybe behind the door of the balcony, and we're both like in a standoff.
I like it. Okay. So you've gone to the spot where there's the opening, right? That I noticed before. Mm-hmm. Maybe I shouted that out to you. I'm gonna say, I would like to see.
I imagine I stayed in the same place.
Oh right, okay.
I thought you were going to the.
I was gonna go to
the.
Yeah, I thought that's what you just said you were gonna do, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So that's the next thing to do then is to do the next sort of like I don't want to use a term, but the sort of the next round. As I'm basically make a run for the or maybe I kind of shout, "Cover me!" And then I make a run to get to where Reese is. But I want to basically climb on top of it. The idea is to climb on top of it and to shoot. But I will do that second, I think, right? So the first one is still going to be gaining ground?
I was thinking that when you say cover me, I am going to do exactly that. I am going to aid an ally. So basically it says, when you act in direct support of an ally, envision how you aid them, then secure an advantage or gain ground. In this case, since we're in combat, I'm going to gain ground. Gain ground is basically the...
Where's that move at?
It's an adventure moves.
Okay.
It's the aid your ally. Gain ground is basically the combat version of secured advantage, and react under fire is basically the face danger version.
Okay.
So it says I'm going to gain ground, and I'm going to do it with what would it be? Let's see. I think it's probably edge. Because I'm fighting at a distance, even though it doesn't really say that here.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I think edge makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to to hit him, but I'm just mostly trying to give cover.
Yep.
So let's see how that
wow,
goes.
Look at that.
And
strong hit with a match. Wow, you're doing super well here. Okay, let me mark the 2 progress first. I guess that's what we're gonna do for one of them, right?
One progress, because it's a gain ground.
Oh yeah, mark 1 progress, right? Gain the ground, not
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it says, if you gain ground, this is an aid your ally, and score a strong hit, we are both still in control. So we are both still in control. I'm definitely going to mark 1 progress, like you said. And I'm going to give you the +2 momentum, since that's how aid an ally works. You take the benefits of the move.
Okay.
And for the match,
Can we create something narratively that's going to help? Maybe something like you spot a ladder.
I mean, definitely, we could definitely go for that.
That can get you up to where they are, like up close and personal. Because you're probably, I mean, you're doing super well with your blaster pistol right now. But you're kind of you like to be up close and using your fists.
Yeah, but I think at this point, perhaps it might make sense for me to keep distance. Like, you're trying to go in and close the distance, right? Isn't that what we were going for?
Or what if we say something like, you notice that there is the balcony is resting on a it's kind of like maybe not super stable, and there's kind of like a, I don't want to say a column that it's on, but there's something there that maybe you can attack to bring it falling down.
Definitely.
I don't know if that's like a match thing or not.
Yeah, let's go ahead and say that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you've got your support fire. I'm covering you. One of the shots probably manages to hit the bounty hunter, and it's on you now.
It's okay. Are we gonna kind of try and move this along a bit quicker and just say I'm gonna do a strike attack? Because I think you're aiding the ally was a strong hit, which basically makes me think I was successfully able to get to the cover, and now I'm going to be taking a shot.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Okay, so I'm in control, as we've already said. We're both in control at this stage, so I'm going to be making a strike. When you're in control and assault a foe at close quarters, which we're not, so if we're attacking at distance, roll edge. So it's a simple, quick edge roll. I don't get any pluses or anything, but I'm sitting on 6 momentum in case I need to use that. So let's see how we do. Oh man, nice. I got a 6 on the dice. It's a strong hit. I'm dominating our foe and staying in control. So like I basically get behind cover here, and I aim up really nicely, and I squeeze off a couple of shots, and they just do exactly what they're supposed to. So I'm marking progress twice again. We're up to 6 progress.
I'd like to say that our dice in this combat have been 6, 5, 6, 6. Yeah. This is not how a Starforged combat usually goes. For anyone watching, do not get your expectations up.
Well, you entered the fray with a 2, so that it seemed like maybe it was going to be a bit worse at the start. But since we've actually started fighting, it's been great. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Okay.
The bleeding out clock hasn't even come into play. We've just been doing amazing. We can try to finish this battle and risk it. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's not, we've got the upper ground here, but I think we want to be extra sure that this bounty hunter is not going to come back. So I think we're being a little bit confident here. I think trying to end it now would slightly be more desperate move. Is the bounty hunter going to get away, or do we have to make an all and out thing and make a big risky move? I think because things are going so well, we keep the momentum going. So I think we just maybe for one more sort of, to use the term, round. Hopefully maybe try and do that before we bring it to an end.
So
and because you've also found this, yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because you just noticed that there's this weak point on the balcony that that the bounty hunter's standing on, that might be a good, because I wouldn't have noticed that. That's something that you would have noticed. I'm just squeezing shots off, so that could be something you could do. I'm probably planning on just using my strike still.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna run in, since you were like shooting at the bounty hunter and you're effectively hitting him. I was just gonna grab a piece of something, maybe a pipe, the kind you find lying on the floor in abandoned warehouse districts, and run up against that column and just whack it on the side and get out there as quickly as I can to try to collapse the thing and make the bounty hunter fall off out of that balcony.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a gain ground with... I'm going to say that because of you shooting, I have the time to get there and do that. So that's going to be a gain ground with iron, and hopefully that will go well.
Yep. Let's see.
And that did not go well.
So here comes after saying rolling well. Rolled a 2 with an 8 and a 9 on the challenge dice.
The most obvious thing happens. You do not run in the middle of a battlefield with where someone's. So I'm going to say the most obvious thing happens. I am running through the battlefield, and the bounty hunter suddenly gets out and just hits me in the chest with a blaster shot. And would this be serious harm or major harm? How do we feel about that? Getting just serious harm? Major harm? How are we playing it? Gritty? Getting shot in the chest with the blaster rifle is probably major harm in Star Wars.
I would have thought so. You're not wearing any armor of any kind.
I'm
Normally
not
one
wearing
shot
any
is
armor.
enough. Square on is enough to knock anyone out. Take you out.
Alright, so let's go ahead and take serious harm.
Because most of the heroes take it like shot like in the shoulders or something like that. They're still going, but injured. And remember, one blaster shot to center mass on a stormtrooper kills them. So,
yes. So let's say it's the shoulder then instead of the chest.
Yeah. You're still standing, and you're gonna roll indoor harm.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm still standing. I imagine I was knocked on my ass on the floor. I just got hit with a blaster rifle. So I'm definitely gonna make indoor harm. And hopefully it goes well. And that's a weak hit. If you're not wounded, you may lose 1 momentum in exchange for +1 health. Otherwise, press on. All right, let's do that. I have taken significant damage, and I'm on the ground in the middle of the battlefield, probably dragging myself through the ground as this bounty hunter is shooting down at me. That is my current position.
Okay, not a great place to be.
No.
I see this happen, and I'm just going to, because the bounty hunter is now popping up over his cover to shoot you. That's a perfect time for me to shoot back as well from where I am. So I'm going to strike again, rolling edge, and see how I do. I don't get any benefits or anything to this, so just straight up edge. And I got a weak hit. Mark progress twice, but you expose yourself to danger. I'm in a bad spot. Well, that's perfect, because now we have marked 8 progress on the track.
But, my sweet summer child, since we are not in control and we are in a bad spot, if we want to try to make the progress move, we count a weak hit as a miss. So we would need to get both dice below 7 unless we regain control of the situation.
Okay,
this is kind of like the
this.
gamble system.
Yeah, I like it. The bounty hunter's clearly aware that I'm there because I just got a really good shot off on him. He's just taking you out as you were kind of rushing below him, and then he swivels to me as I'm shooting back at him. I kind of hit him a couple of times right on the armor, and then he gets his shot off, like almost hits me in the head, and I just ducked down in time, and he's now focused completely on me. So, and while you're also like maybe just like leaning against a wall or something as you've been shot. So
well, we're actually both in a bad spot, so I think it might be interesting to see roll a combat action to see what they are doing: intimidating, taunt, or frighten.
Ah, okay. What Triz is doing.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
So I think he's blasting at both of us right now.
Yeah.
Just not trying to hit us, but just enough to keep us both on our guard. And we said that Triz had explosives, and I want him to use them. All
right. It'll make sense for him to use them at me because I'm near where Reese is as well. And I think maybe we can say he hasn't used them yet because maybe he only has maybe like one left. I remember in The Mandalorian, for example, he has this like these cool little like dart explosives that he has, like things like that. But there's a very limited number of them. So maybe this is his last explosive. I like that a lot too. Yeah.
So I picture that as he's like, on the balcony, pew, 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 shooting at both of us, keeping us taunted and everything. I think he launches one of these explosives. You're hiding behind cover or something, and you just see this little tiny thing roll right next to you, going beep, 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 kind of thing. Yeah. So what do?
It's landed like on my side of the thing. So it's like talking about like a grenade, right? If I just scramble over the top to try and get on the other side of it, away from it, then there's a very strong likelihood that Reese is going to be killed by the blast. So I'm gonna, because it's right next to me, I'm gonna try and grab it and throw it back. As quick as like almost. Yeah, that's clash. Yep, clash when you're in a bad spot. Okay, I hope this could go very, very badly. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna roll. Ooh, is this iron or is this edge?
This is definitely edge.
Edge, because I'm going. It's this edge agility. I'm trying to grab it as fast as I can and lob it. So yeah. So we'll go with edge here. I have 6 momentum if I need it. I don't need it. I got a strong hit with a match. Mark progress twice. We're up to 10 progress on the tracker. You overwhelm your foe and are in control. Now that obviously I threw it right back at the bounty hunter. It explodes, and should we roll the progress tracker now on this thing to see what happens?
That was beautiful.
Yeah, so that's a strong hit. All right. I think I throw it just perfectly right back, and the bounty hunter is just watching in amazement, in disbelief, as it flies right up in this perfect arc. And blows up just before he has a chance to do anything with it. Like maybe he grabs his rifle to like bat it away from him or something, because that's the only chance he has to do anything. And it just explodes right before he swings. And we've defeated it. And the whole thing collapses. It's a good thing you weren't standing underneath it. in hindsight. And yeah, the crumpled body of Triz like falls with the rubble. As rubble is still falling on top, and like you can just see this like armored arm sticking out from the rubble, as Triz is defeated. And we're also approaching the 40-minute mark of this episode, so we're going to call it there. This is a great place to stop and see what happens in the next episode. So thanks very much for following. Love to hear what you think of the combat down in the comments below, because this is a fairly long episode of just combat. And yeah, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to subscribe to the channel if you like what we're creating here, and hit the like button. Check out Sophia's channel on Ironhome. There's a link to it in the description below. And otherwise, catch you next time. Cheers.